This is dedicated to all my beautiful queens, all my beautiful ladies out there. She's a queen. Go queen. You got it, girl. She's a queen. You better represent. Go queen. Go queen. Go. She's a queen about her business. Queen. Working hard on a mission. Yeah. Head high, purpose driven. Purpose driven. Crown on never tilted. Go queen, go queen, go queen, go. Represent, you're a queen, oh.
So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Key Chat Podcast. Today, my guest is Miss Gina Carter. She's from New Orleans, my hometown. She's an author and business owner, and her book is entitled Robbed by Death Twice. And she also has a lipstick line called Lip Lock Cosmetics. So we're going to talk about her book, everything that she's experienced, and how she started the lip care line, and of course, our favorite topic, self-love. So how are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Nice to be with you. So I wanted to get deep first into how you started your journey, because I was reading your bio on the website and it was saying how obviously you grew up in New Orleans, but you're originally in the medical profession before you decided to branch out with your lip care line.
Yes, I've been doing medical clerical my whole adult life. And it's not something that I see as a career for me. My goal is to be an entrepreneur, work for myself.
Right.
I was a medical assistant, and I mean, I still work in the medical field. It's just, I guess I don't advertise it.
Right.
But yeah, I've been working in the medical clerical side of the medical field all my adult life.
Okay, so I know, like you said, obviously, like you wanted to be an entrepreneur. So what made you decide to start a lip care line? Was that like always a thing, or when you decided to be an entrepreneur, were you like fishing for different ideas, or did you always have a thing for lipsticks?
Yeah, I always wore lipstick. I always liked something on my lips. Even if I didn't even have a full face of makeup, I always wanted something on my lips. And I used to work for Avon, so that's where it kind of started. I didn't really like the middleman, Avon taking some of your money and stuff like that. So I said, well, maybe I should create my own line. And so one day I was sitting in the office, I think it was like the end of the day. And I just started thinking of names for the company and stuff like that, and just doing research about how to start my own brand. So that's how the brand started. It started as a lipstick line, but then I kind of ventured out to different products, adding to the line.
So what made you decide on lip lock?
I love kissing. I love kissing. And lip lock is a long, passionate kiss. So I make it lip lock. So, that's how the name came about.
And how long have you had it? Like, when did you start the care line? Like, how many years has it been?
It'll be 3 years, November 17th.
Okay. So how was it, like, as far as the research, how long did it take you once you, like, how did you come up with the lipsticks, the colors, all that? Like, how was that experiences learning about it?
The research was actually fun because, it's something I like. So the research was fun. I went to search in different private label companies to see what they offer, started getting samples and stuff like that, and did research on social media also. A lot of people don't like social media, but I think social media is your friend. It's very resourceful. So yeah, I did a lot of research. That took a couple months. And then I was like, okay, that's it. I'm out to launch.
Right.
Colors that I started with, and then I just started adding to the brand. So
I agree. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with social media. Like, business-wise, I think it's great, actually.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it and use it what it's for.
Right.
All that stuff, no.
Yeah,
but for purposes, Yeah, business, I think is great. Like there's a lot of resources. I network my tail off on social media. So like I said, if you use it for what it's for, I think social
Yeah,
media is great for
yeah.
people. So one of the things that I was looking in when I was, researching Lip Lock Cosmetics on your website, you also have listed that you are big on motivation,
Mhm.
advocating and fostering a spirit of confidence and beauty in women from all walks of society. So, what is your feeling as far as just tying into beauty? Because
Mhm.
obviously makeup gives people confidence. So, was that also a motivation when you decided, hey, I want to do something specific for my business with lipstick? Because obviously that's centered towards women and confidence and beauty.
Yeah, I do. I love everything about makeup and what it does for a woman. It helps beautify. Some women don't need it. Some women do. Some women use it for cosmetic reasons. Like I know a friend of mine, she has scars on her lips, and so the lipstick could be a camouflage for that. So I love everything that it does for a woman. It enhances her beauty. So anything that empower us, I'm all for it.
Right.
And I think it does that. So
Who are some of the people that motivated you as far as like just role models in business? Like, do you have any particular blueprint people? Like, I always refer to people that inspire me as a blueprint. So, were there any like other African American women of color makeup moguls that really, motivated you or who you look up to?
yeah, I like Rihanna. I think what she's doing, she's a young Black woman. I think she's doing her thing. More locally, I love what Super is doing.
Mhm.
She's a Black woman from the same city I'm from.
Right.
Um, I think that's awesome. So yeah, those two I really researched both of them, to be honest with you. I researched other big brands also, but yeah, I love those two. I don't know them personally, of course, but yeah, I love what they're doing as young women. So
Right.
mhm.
I think Super is like special for people in New Orleans because, she just represents people from our town, making it. So that
Mhm.
alone, I think, is something that's really special about her. And of course, she's extremely down to earth.
Yes,
So
I do. I
that's
love.
the thing about her that's really special.
Mhm.
And I swear by Crayon Case's bronzer. So like,
Mhm. I have her makeup too.
right, exactly. Like I live by her bronzer.
Mhm.
So I wanted to also talk about your book
Mhm.
entitled Robbed by Death Twice. So definitely tell me the background on the title and what inspired you to write it.
Well, the book is about and dedicated to my late father and my late husband. They both have shaped my life in some sort of way. They both died from heart attacks unexpectedly. Me and my father, we had a challenged relationship coming up, and we made up one year as me as an adult, and then the next year he died. So I felt robbed of that. I already was neglected as a child. So when I finally make up with him, then he died a year later. And
Mm.
then my husband and I, we were only married for 3 years, and he died unexpectedly last year, August 11th. And so, yes, that's where the title comes from, because I felt robbed of their love and every possibility that we could have had. So that's where the book comes from. I talk a lot about my upbringing and the relationships that I had with those two men and how they impacted my life. So it's a short story, but it's a great
Mhm.
read.
Mhm. How long did it take you to write it?
It took a couple months. I got with another author, and she basically told me how I can write a book in 3 months, and I was like, "What?" Okay, so she told me how to do it, get my outline together, create a schedule, and I went for it, and it took a little bit over 3 months, but I got it. So,
So, what made you decide to put it on paper though? Because I think like a lot of people have experienced things in their life that would make a good
mhm,
book. Like right now, books are people's business card.
yeah.
So like, what made you decide? After going through these terrible issues and this grieving process, like what was your transition to say, "Hey, I'm gonna put it in a book and help somebody else"?
Well, I had started seeing a therapist and she had recommended journaling to me. And so I was trying to do everything to cope with the passing of my late husband, and none of that was working. So journaling seemed to help me. But in the process of me going to therapy, I saw that I had some baggage left over from my father. So by me starting a journal, that's what created the book. So once I finished the book, I felt free. So I was, well, maybe that can help another woman, a fatherless daughter or a widow. Maybe that can help them if they see me be so vocal about my pain. So that's how the book started, from journaling.
Okay. Now you mentioned therapy, and that's something that I always discuss on the show because I feel like there's still a stigma, amongst Black people, people of color regarding therapy, because I think a lot of us were raised where we're not supposed to talk about our business,
Right.
to strangers, and you're supposed to just pray about it. That's it,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy that you did mention therapy because, like I said, it's something I really like to talk about to break down the stigmas because I think people just have a perception of like who goes to therapy, like you have to be, your life must be in terrible shambles or whatever to seek therapy, but sometimes just speaking to a professional is something that a lot of people need, like you mentioned with the journaling. It made you free. So,
Yeah.
what made you decide to do the therapy? Like I said, I definitely commend you for mentioning that too, especially with grief. Like, it's just so important. Like, when people go through grief, trauma, you mentioned things from your childhood, baggage, to speak to a professional. So, what made you, like, I know you said a lot of things weren't working, but what specifically was like, hey, I will talk to another person? Had you ever gone to therapy prior to losing your husband?
No, I mean, I had marriage counseling, but that's about it. But
Mm-hmm.
my
That's
cousin,
commendable too.
yeah, I think is needed. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It is. My cousin, she had lost her husband like maybe 3 or 4 years prior, and she sees a grief counselor, and so she recommended the counselor to me. And I mean, it has been very instrumental in my life. I don't think you're crazy for going to see a therapist. I think it's needed because I don't have a whole lot of people that I could go talk to about my issue. I mean, I could talk to them, but they can't relate because half of them never been married, or the other half, they still have their husbands or their significant others. So they don't understand what I'm going through. And
Right.
so talking to this grief counselor, by the way, she's a widow. So that had helped tremendously.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all for therapy. I don't mind it. I think it's needed sometimes.
Right.
I her on a regular now, but I do tell her if I need you, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Yeah, I love therapy. Everything it has to offer. And like I said, I just nothing was working. I am a child of God. I was in scripture, reading the Bible. I was just doing all type of self-care, but that wasn't working. So I needed to talk to somebody and let it out. And then recommended certain things, and I just started feeling better about the situation. I think I'll forever grieve my husband. But as the days go by, it is getting better. So I would recommend therapy to anybody.
That's great. That's really great that you said that. Because, like I said, I still think there's so many stigmas behind therapy, and it's not that bad to just talk to somebody. And I think sometimes people, they have like the wrong perception of therapy. Because I know some people that's like, oh, I tried it, I didn't like it. I went one time, I didn't like it. Then I'm like, okay, was your therapist of color? Well, no. It's like, well, not that I'm knocking therapists of other races, but I'm just saying, like, if you're really trying to talk to somebody about a relationship, shouldn't you kind of seek somebody that you can have some type of bond with?
Right.
So I just think sometimes some people that want to try it, they don't take it seriously. So they just
Yeah.
pick a random person that they didn't research on and figure they're going to talk to them. It's like, well, you're already starting off on a bad foot because you chose
Right.
somebody that you're not comfortable with. So it's not
So
going to work.
try somebody else if it doesn't work with one. My therapist, she's a woman and she's a widow, so that's how it worked for me. Now she is Asian,
Mhm.
so I was kind of skeptical, you know. But the fact that she's a woman and she's a widow, that helped me because she
Right,
can to what I'm going through. But
right.
yeah, I do think you should do your research on therapists and find somebody that you think can relate to you. You know,
Mhm.
and some people are just not vocal. You know, I'm an open and transparent person, so I don't mind talking about, my issues. I don't. I'm not that private or secretive or whatever you want to call it. So I don't
Right,
mind talking. Some people don't
right,
want to see business and stuff like that. So that's probably why it don't work for them. I don't know.
right. You have to find somebody you're comfortable with. Because like my therapist is a male, but they're also African American. So I can
Yeah.
discuss like racial stuff that's going on. Not that I'm saying somebody from another race wouldn't understand, but I'm just saying you have to have some kind of bond. Like you
Yeah.
said, your therapist is also a widower. So it's
Mm,
like,
mm,
like you have to have some type of connection. If not,
mhm.
it's like,
Yes,
some kind of thread. If not, for me, that's just my personal opinion. I feel like it's not going to work. But I'm just so happy that you mentioned therapy because, like I said, for people of color, especially Black women, I think it's important to talk to somebody. Just like getting a regular checkup for your teeth or your health, this is good to talk to somebody. You don't have to do it every day, every week, or whatever. But I just think it helps. So
yes.
I know we talked about, obviously just you going through the grieving process. So
Mhm.
on the show, we talk about self-love a lot. And with your makeup line too, I feel like that also ties into self-love. And I always there's a different definition to me between self-care and self-love. Self-care to me
Mhm.
is the literal part,
Right.
but self-love is the actual internal part.
Yes.
But, you know, I think sometimes we don't touch on still feeling good about yourself
Yes.
does tie, having that confidence too does tie in. So with you going through the grieving process, what part of self-love did that
Mhm.
play for you? You know what I'm saying? Because I think it took some self-love for you to say, hey, I'm going to seek a
Mhm.
professional, took self-love to say, I'm going to put my story in a book. That's a huge thing to do. So what part did self-love play in the grieving process with you, seeking help and, seeking how to get out of the slump and, have a positive turn. So what role was self-love for you?
I believe that um, the simple fact hearing him say, "Go do something, get out of this," I think he will want me to live because we did talk about stuff like that before this happened. Just over the years, we gave each other permission to move forward with life. And after his passing, I really thought I was next
Mm,
because having all type of chest pains and going in and out of the hospital. And they kept telling me, okay, it's part of your EKG is normal, so it has to be mental, or this is what grief does. It gives you the feeling of body aches and pains and stuff like that. And I was like, no, my chest is really hurting. I don't think this is mental. And
yeah.
so, like, this is what grief does. It gives you the feeling of a heart attack or something like that. And so I just kept reading scriptures and just reading all type of stuff from other widows and trying to get some type of inspiration. And I don't know, it just hit me one day, okay, you need to live. You need to choose to live. And so that's what I started doing. That's why I really try to control my news feed. I want to see positive things because it's very easy to get in this sunken place when you're grieving. And
Mm,
so I try to, if I see too much foolishness, I'm gonna unfollow it. And that's
yeah.
just no hard feelings, but I got to go.
Mm,
I really have to protect my mental because I have been diagnosed with PTSD behind his passing, anxiety, and I don't want to be on nobody medication. Although if you need that, that's fine for you, but I don't want to be on it. So I have to protect my mental because I want to be here. And yes, I do love myself. Sometimes it's rough because, after your husband passed, you feel like, okay, now I got to get back into this dating world. Is somebody going to love me? Is they going to like me? Is they going to accept my flaws like my husband did? So you beat yourself up a lot after something, tragic like that happens. And yes, I go back and forth with the self-love, but I'm going to choose every day. I'm trying to be real intentional about everything that I do moving forward. So yes, I'm choosing to love me. I'm choosing, like, after we get off of this call, I'm going to make myself up and just get out the house and do something. I do a lot of things alone now just to figure out who Gina is, because for a long time it was all about me and him. And so now I'm trying to figure me out as just me. So yeah, I'm choosing to love myself. So
see, and that's a good thing, like just loving yourself for who you are. And I just commend you too, because it's so easy to fall into depression. You mentioned PTSD and anxiety. I deal with PTSD and anxiety, and it's a demon, like it pulls you sometimes, like it wants you, like you said, to be in a sunken place. And I'm the same way. Like if something is negative, I don't care, like if it's even a person, I have to back away, because it's like I don't want that energy on me, because I'm already dealing with enough. So it's like I just can't do it, because I'm just happy you mentioned that, because it's just about having healthy elements around you, because if you're already dealing with something that have negativity or, like you said, foolishness or whatever, it's not good. Like the energy alone is just not good at all. So I want to go back before we end everything with the lipstick line. Like I said, I think it's really cool. I love your website too.
Oh, thank you.
So one of your models was lock in nothing but beauty. So, and I feel like with women, like there's a big controversy about women wearing too much makeup. I love makeup.
Yeah, I love
it. So what's your feeling? And I'm sure you, like, obviously you do lipstick, so obviously I'm sure you don't think a woman could technically wear too much makeup, but how do you feel about just makeup alone, just making somebody feel good? I don't think anything's wrong with it, but I was just watching a video yesterday, and it was men talking about they don't like women to wear like too much makeup, but I feel like if you wear it the right way, you still technically, in mind, it's like putting icing on a cake.
I feel about that. It's the icing on the cake. I feel like all women are beautiful. We all offer something. Because it's different shades and colors, and we all are unique. So I think every woman brings something to the table. She offers some type of beauty. So if she want to enhance her beauty, so be it. Like, I have nothing against makeup. Now, I am the type of woman, I feel like I don't need to wear it every day, but that's just my personal preference. So if you are the type, that's fine. I have nothing to say about it, like nothing. Because I cater to everybody, even the queens, baby. Transgender women, yes, I love them all.
Oh, yeah.
One of my models were transgender. So I have nothing against makeup. I love everything that it does for a woman.
Right.
Like I said, some women need it, and some women just want it to look a different way, look more glamorous, or just to enhance her beauty. So I have nothing.
Right. So before we end everything, just give a lasting statement on, and we already talked about what you feel about self-love, but for anyone that tunes in who, they've dealt with some things that you've dealt with, especially last year was a hard time. People were losing people. Even now, people are just passing away at high rates. And there's so many people that's dealing with grief. They're trying to figure out how to get out of it. And what would you say, though, to inspire somebody, that each day, it can get better? So what would you say to just inspire someone that may tune in that's really struggling right now?
I think you should just live. You have to choose to live, choose happiness. You have to make that decision. When you wake up in the morning, am I going to be miserable or am I going to be happy? You have to choose that. And do what's best for you. Stop. It's okay to listen to people, but you have to do what's best for you at the end of the day. Especially when something tragic happens, that changes your life completely. And I am speaking from experience. It really changes you. So you have to protect your mental, do what's best for you, try to laugh and enjoy life, because you never know when your day is coming. So enjoy your life, whatever that means. It doesn't have to be nothing major. Whatever you choose to make you happy, do that. And that's just how I feel about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. So before we end everything, tell everybody how they can find you and definitely give them the information on how they can find the website with the lipstick and also how they can purchase your book.
Okay, so far as the cosmetic line, the page on IG is _LipLock Cosmetics _ on my other brand, for as the book and everything, is I am _Gina Marie. There's also a link if you want to purchase the book in that profile. I'm on Facebook as well under Gina Carter. That is my government name. But yeah, that's the platforms I use. I feel like Facebook and Instagram is enough for me.
Yeah, I know. It is a lot of work. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for blessing the show and sharing your journey. And I know, like I said, I definitely commend you for just being transparent and talking about the therapy, the things that you've gone through, and just letting people know that it can get better and choosing to live. For everybody that tunes in, I hope that you guys picked up on some gems from this conversation. And Gina hit on some amazing points. You have to choose to live. And it also starts with a positive mindset. You know, we can't determine what's going to happen to us in life. But the thing about it is to not let whatever challenges that we face to weigh us down. And every single day when we wake up, we have to choose to live. Whatever your definition of living may be, whether it's starting that makeup line like Gina did, or writing that book, or just simply getting out of bed and putting a smile on your face is enough. But whatever you do, every single day you have to choose to live, because life is precious and every single person that's tuning in has a reason to be on this earth. So just get up and find your purpose. Just choose to live, because right now, between 2020, that was something that just showed us that tomorrow's not promised, and we're living in a very uncertain time. But guess what? We can still wake up every morning, put a smile on our face, have that light shine, and just choose to live. So thank you guys for tuning into the Key Chat, and make sure you go love yourself. You can find this episode on YouTube and also stream it on all major platforms. And make sure to seek out Gina's website and look at her cute lipsticks. She has a very cute website. And also go ahead and message her about getting that book, because she's sharing a powerful story. So thank you guys. Okay.
Deli must have did this beat